It's the news at noon. In the news, federal government set to commence cash payment to 200,000 Nigerians. Nigeria Center for Disease Control confirms 32 Delta variant cases of coronavirus in the country, with 9 cases in Akwa Ibom. Inspector General of Police Usman appoints Deputy Commissioner of Police Tunji Disu as new head of Police Intelligence Response Team. On the foreign scene, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega to stand for re-election for 4th consecutive term. In sports, Inter Milan rejects Chelsea's £85 million bid for striker Romelu Lukaku. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, my name is Xavier Robert. We begin this afternoon with the federal government, who have said that it is set to commence cash payment to 200,000 Nigerians. The coordinator, National Social Safety Net Program, Akwa, who made the announcement in Abuja, said the beneficiaries are urban, poor senior citizens that do not have access to regular income and are impacted by COVID-19. Akwa noted that 4% of 35 million poor and vulnerable persons in the national register in 36 states and the FCT were elderly persons, adding that 2 million individuals categorized as senior citizens were aggregated by location, education, age, status, disability, and sex. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management official stressed that identified citizens were authenticated by their respective communities. In the meantime, the federal government has inaugurated members of the Governing Council of the National Human Rights Commission, scoring itself high on the protection of the rights of Nigerian citizens and the decision to suspend Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari over his bribery indictment by the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) in the United States. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, who inaugurated the council on behalf of government, said the federal government is committed to the protection of the human rights of all Nigerians and other nationals living in the country. According to Malami, the disbandment of SARS and setting up of various panels of inquiry investigating and awarding damages for human rights violations by SARS is a clear testimony to the fact that the government is fulfilling its international obligation to set up an independent National Human Rights Commission for the promotion and protection of human rights of Nigerians. He commended the giant strides made by the Executive Secretary of NHRC and his management team in providing a purposeful and effective leadership in the absence of a governing council. He also enjoined the new governing council members to be guided by the NHRC Act. In health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has confirmed that 32 Delta variant cases of coronavirus have been reported in 5 states across the country, with Akwa Ibom State having 9 of the cases. The Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, who gave the confirmation at the resumed briefing of the Presidential Steering Committee in Abuja, listed Lagos, Rivers, Oyo, and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) as the other places where at least 1 case of the Delta variant of COVID-19 had been confirmed in the country. Meanwhile, less than 24 hours after the federal government officially declared the 3rd wave of the coronavirus pandemic in the country, the disease has claimed 11 more lives, with 444 new infections. In an update last night, the NCDC said the 11 fatalities took the death toll in the country to 2,160. According to the NCDC update, the 444 new infections recorded on Monday have also raised the total confirmed cases in the country to 174,759. A breakdown of the NCDC data revealed that 12 states and the FCT contributed to the 444 new cases. Lagos recorded the highest figure with 275 out of the 444 cases. Rivers and Akwa Ibom states followed with 63 and 62 confirmed cases respectively. Gombe State reported 22. Ogun State came fifth on the log with 8 infections. The FCT and Edo State recorded 4 cases each, while Imo recorded 3. Meanwhile, Kano, Nasarawa, Sokoto, Jigawa and Ebonyi State reported only 1 infection each. To security now, where the Inspector General of Police, Usman has appointed a Deputy Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, as the new head of the Police Intelligence Response Team, IRT. The Force Public Relations Officer, CP Frank Mba, who announced Disu's appointment, said it was with immediate effect. Disu, who is a former commander of the Rapid Response Squad, Lagos State, replaces Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari, who was recently suspended and is being investigated following his indictment by the Federal Bureau of Investigation over his alleged relationship with the fraudster Ramon Abbas, popularly known as Hush Puppy. Mba explained that Disu's appointment would fill the leadership gap within the IRT and refocus the unit for better service delivery. Prior to his appointment as the new head of the IRT, Disu served as the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of the Department of Operations at the Force headquarters. Back here, 4 years after he left the Catholic Church where he served God as priest, founder of Grace Family Commonwealth of Champions Reverend Patrick Grace Henry has stressed that what he left was a platform and not the priesthood of Christ, just as he attributed the journey so far in the Lord's vineyard under a separate denomination to God's faithfulness. Speaking with Planet News, Reverend Grace Henry declared that he did not leave the priesthood, as the priesthood is a divine calling to serve God.
So I didn't leave the priesthood. The priesthood is calling to serve God. The priesthood is beyond a denomination. The priesthood is God. Is a divine call. A church or denomination is where that priesthood is expressed. So what I left the platform in which I expressed my calling to the priesthood for 13 and a half years. What I have never left and I can never leave, because it's not possible to even leave, is the priesthood of Christ. That one is divine. 4 years down the line, it is beyond imagination. It is God. I've seen God's faithfulness. I'm ever grateful that I faced my fears and walked the path.
As words of advice, he admonished persons who are battling with difficult decisions of life in any given field that is supposed to redefine their existence in totality, to confront their fears and forge ahead with their set goals and aspirations after receiving divine convictions from God.
It's not a regular event to hear of the Reverend Father who left the Catholic platform, then began something completely different to preach the gospel. It is something that is rare. Some people live and die, and 4 years down the line, it's the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me since I was born. And I feel whoever is struggling through decision, this gives you opportunity, not necessarily to take that decision to go this way or that way, but to prove not to be afraid to face your fears. And once you are done seeking God, take a decision based on what gives you peace, and don't ever look back. One thing that I believe I owe the world 4 years later and going forward is to start sharing the lessons I've learned in the process of transitioning from a Catholic priest to being a preacher that is on a different platform.
Yesterday, August 2 made it exactly 4 years after the former Reverend Father Patrick Henry Adet resigned as Catholic priest. He is now happily married with 2 children, while simultaneously shepherding a rapidly growing ministry called Grace Family Commonwealth of Champions. On a sad note, a residential building located at Ndwetong area of Uyo, close to Uyo City Polytechnic, was yesterday razed down by fire, rendering the occupants, who were said to have been away during the incident, homeless. The cause of the fire outbreak was not known, as the occupants claimed they were all not around when the fire broke out. An occupant of the house, Idongesetema, said he went to the farm when his neighbor called to inform him of the incident.
And we went to the farm. We left at 10:30 to the farm. It's a place we normally go to since we're on holidays. But we're surprised when we were in the farm. Around 12, a call came that the house has been razed down by fire. We don't know the origin of the fire, the source. We did not cook anything in the morning. How come the fire? That is what we're asking. So it's a very big surprise, and everything has gone. Everything that was there, documents, all the electronics in the house, everything, the mattress, the clothes.
That's as of now, I don't know. But there's no option now. I need to relocate. But I never planned for this.
Some money
This is sabotage. This is sabotage. I don't know the person that has done it. But it's only God that will know.
Another occupant, a 14-year-old girl who gave her name as Success Raphael, was seen crying outside the building and said she saw the house in flames while returning home.
I went to go and carry my siblings when they came back from holiday lesson. So when they came back, I now saw smoke coming up from the house. I saw some other guys trying to quench the fire. But everything about us has burned down inside. My primary class certificate and my sister's testimonial is inside the house.
When our correspondent got to the scene, firefighters from the State Fire Service were sighted with their van trying to quench the leftover of the fire, which was still raging. But the building was already brought down and properties of the occupants burnt before their arrival at about 1 p.m. You are listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from the foreign sports and entertainment scenes. Do stay with us.
So my son, welcome to the Kalangulo Shrine. The gods are with us. What can I do for you?
Baba, the witch do me and I even sick self. I think say him give me HIV.
Eh? No.
What do you mean, Baba?
No way anybody fit use witch give you HIV. If anybody tell you that one, na lie dem talk. Because witch no fit give person HIV.
No matter how the wind strong, nobody fit give or carry HIV from witchcraft.
Thanks for staying with us. Now on to the foreign scene, where Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega is to stand for a fourth consecutive term in November's general election. This is according to his Sandinista National Liberation Front (FSLN) party. Ortega's wife, Vice President Rosario Murillo, will again be his running mate. The presidential power couple's election ticket was ratified by all 2,932 members present at the FSLN Virtual Congress just hours before the enrollment deadline for candidates. Elsewhere, authorities in the Chinese city of Wuhan will begin testing its entire population after a handful of positive coronavirus cases were detected there. Wuhan has recorded 7 locally transmitted cases, the first local infections in more than a year. The city of 11 million people shot into the spotlight after the coronavirus was first detected there in 2019. China is currently seeing one of its biggest outbreaks in months, with 300 cases detected in 10 days. In sports, Inter Milan have rejected Chelsea's £85 million bid for striker Romelu Lukaku. 28-year-old Lukaku is at the head of Chelsea's search for a new forward after Borussia Dortmund ruled out selling striker Erling Haaland this summer amid interest from the Blues. While Inter's owners are wrestling with major financial issues, they are determined to keep hold of the Belgian. Lukaku, a former Chelsea player, was a pivotal figure last season as Inter won their first Serie A title since 2010. It is understood Chelsea were willing to include Spanish defender Marcos Alonso in the deal. It remains to be seen whether the Champions League winners will make a higher offer, although Inter believe they are capable of resisting it, and Lukaku has previously spoken about his intention to stay at the club. And on the entertainment scene, Big Brother Nigeria's shinier eye housemate Maria has allegedly received death threats after nominating housemates for possible eviction yesterday. A social media handler disclosed this via Maria's official Instagram accounts. Recall that Maria as a wild card, nominated white money Nigerians J. Paul and Beatrice for eviction. Reports say she has been under attack as some fans went to her page criticizing her decision. Meanwhile, the handler has urged viewers to be patient with Maria as she did what needed to be done, saying no one deserves to die or get seriously threatened for going on a reality TV show and making harmless choices. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM, Uyo. But before we go, a quick recap of the major stories. Federal government is set to commence cash payment to 200,000 Nigerians. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed that 32 Delta variant cases of coronavirus have been reported in 5 states across the country, with Akwa Ibom state having 9 of those cases. The Inspector General of Police, Usman has appointed a Deputy Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, as the new head of the Police Intelligence Response Team, replacing Abakari. On the foreign scene, we told you that Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega is to stand for a 4th consecutive term in November's general election. And in sports, reported that Inter Milan have rejected Chelsea's £85 million bid for striker Romelu Lukaku. For comments and coverage of newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812 770 2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and also like our Facebook page at Planet 101FM Uyo. The news was edited by Jane Uwa. As we end the news, let us be reminded to adhere to all the safety guidelines by relevant health authorities and governments against the dreaded coronavirus disease. Together, we will overcome these challenges. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific afternoon.